Hello my friends, I am G Hondo and welcome back to our Let's Play of OpenTTD. This is episode 20. Today we're going to be picking up right where we left off last time. I had just started creating a couple of stations here to take care of this new mission we got to bring in steel to Sandstable factory here, and of course that meant finding and connecting a steel mill, which is way over here, and it in turn will of course have to be serviced by some iron. So I got all the track laid, and that was as far as we've got. So the next thing we need to do is to add in some depots so we can actually purchase the trains. And I think what I'm going to do is just add a depot to each side for, there we go. So now each track has its own depot, and thus that's what services the actual train. So we will start with the iron, and that's clearly the last thing we did. Some up for another mission, so that's fine. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and use the SH-125, which technically can itself hold a little bit of iron, but the main reason I'm using it is it's good and powerful. And we'll add a couple, oops, maybe not quite that many. There we go. And this will be a iron. Nope, that's not how you spell iron. There we go. To Lewiston Green. Perfect. And set the actual route. So that's going to go from this depot through that line over to the mines. Maintenance is optional. I'm not going to worry about doing full loads. That's okay. And with that, you are green to go. And then separately, out of this maintenance depot here, we need the steel train. And for that, oops, come on, there we go. Again, we're going to use the SH-125. It's nice and powerful. And again, a couple of cars. That'll do. Perfect. And that is going to be steel to Sandstable. Perfect. So your trip shall be from this maintenance depot through this track of the station all the way down to Sandstable. Maintenance is optional. We're definitely not doing full loads because especially at first there'll be nothing to haul until this iron train has gotten a couple of times. So it is green to go, but it will have nothing to do at first. They need to go back and forth and activate stations and all that anyway, so there we go. So now we'll see two trains simultaneously popping out of the station in opposite directions. We'll start by watching the iron train, which, like I say, will definitely have to come and activate this station over here. And there it goes, that's pulling in. Excellent. So that's very good. Okay. And yep, iron's now waiting for it. We'll speed this up a bit. Oh, thank you for telling me about that just now, even though I've already started it. But thank you for that. Anyway, messaging's always delayed. Alright, here we go. And now, actually, I think I will do full loads. That's just for the iron. Well, I guess not. I'm torn because this one, it would affect how often this train has something to do, and this train has such a long way to go. Maybe it'd be better not to do full loads. I'd rather there always be at least a little bit of iron there, and having this one stop and wait to fill will only slow that down. So I think I'll be okay with it just being fairly full, but not full completely. About half full or so. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And I'll let that roll. Over here, fantastic. Drop that off. That should make this train now profitable. A little bit anyway. Yep, that works. And That in turn means that there's now some steel waiting for this train, which clearly had just missed. Okay. That's poor timing, but that's okay. By the time it goes all the way down and all the way back, that other train may very well have made another pass anyway, in which case there'll be even more good, steel for it to pick up, so that would be fine. Oh, I forgot to set the main ones, which means I probably did that for the other train too. That's okay. The capacity is so low, it's not worth the cost, because it's quite a bit of money for the refit anyway, and the amount it hauls is so limited, it's not worth it. Oh, that is the real problem. What did I do here? Clearly, I have not got these tracks well connected. That's fine. Ah, right here. Which means there's an extra bit here. And just so I can actually see to be sure, I'm going to get rid of some of these trees. Yeah, that's the real problem. Okay. I'm surprised there was no pop-up that it was lost. But anyway. I guess it probably had to do that route a few more times before it would figure that out. But now I think it should be okay. It's just such a long route. And yes, clearly one more train has gone by, so it's a bit more. And by the time this is leaving, this pile should be dropping off, so... Oh, actually, it's not even on pickup. It's still trying to do its very first one, of course. So it's still actually trying to get down to here. Well, isn't that silly? And by silly, I mean me. Anyway. Oops. Well, let's deal with this before we go on. I thought I already updated the livestock vans, but let's verify. Rather than trusting my memory, because I don't. No, oh no, I guess I couldn't because it's just now available. Never mind. Alright, so again, just like with the goods that we updated, very similar setup, slightly more capacity, way more speed, and a lot more expensive. But overall, still definitely worth it. And we'll just do old vehicles, and that is perfect. Okay. Okay, so now it's actually trying to go to Lewiston Green, and thus actually pick up. Well, I guess it's going to get at least one or two full loads in, even without actually really trying. But that works. Oh, these things only hold 20. I thought they held 30. Okay, well, it's definitely going to get full loads then. No question of that. I didn't notice that. Most of those specific cars that only hold one type of cargo hold 30, but apparently steel is one of the ones that's only 20. That's okay. So we'll be hauling 60 steel during each trip. So yeah, it's about 2%. So that'll take quite a while, but that's okay. We'll just let those run. And what shall we watch? What do I think is going to finish first? Kind of would have thought this one would be nearly done by now. I guess I only added, yeah, only 2 trains worth. Oops, we have an unprofitable plane, which appears to not be doing anything. So I'm going to keep an eye on this one and see if I can figure out what's happening, and if not, I'll just sell it, because it's not helping us anyway. Well, there's definitely passengers. Could this be a problem that's not set to Well, that explains a lot. You should still be trying to pick up. Okay, that explains an awful lot. So, all this time, it's been going here and never having anything, like never picking up anybody to take back. So that would be me being silly again. Alright, that's 2 for this episode. We'll see how far we get. Oh look, we're actually going to haul some cargo this time. Mail and passengers. Guess we'll check it at the other end as well, just to make sure there's nothing untowards there. Whoa, whoa, stop. Oh, Darwin 500. Alright, let's go and check our planes and see if that's worth replacing. So if it's worth replacing 300, it's worth replacing the other ones as well. Okay, so between these two, the cost has actually come down. No, but so is the capacity. And the reliability is much worse. So it's basically just a smaller version of this, even though it looks to me, anyway, about the same size, but clearly it's a bit smaller. Okay, so I don't actually see any point in downgrading to that, even though, again, it is cheaper, but we're not really worried about that at 86 mil. Okay, so we will skip that. No problem. And we'll go back to watching this little plane that I'm trying to figure out what it's doing. Now, I had noticed while it was going the other way, it had no passengers. So I'll have to see if I've just not got it set right, or if there is, in fact... Well, there is, in fact, very few, because they are stealing them all. You people are jerks. Okay. So that can't be helped, but at least if we're bringing people in, it'll make profit one way. And that's probably enough. Oh, there's another one. Okay, Darwin 400. Okay, so again, even slightly smaller. I'll say yes, but I'm not actually going to use it. Go do your maintenance. And then you can come and drop all those people off. And finally, there we go. Make me some money. Perfect. Okay. So I'm happy with that. $54,000. That seems a little bit low to me. Is there another oil rig nearby? No. But there... Oh, that's just another refiner. I was going to say if there's maybe... Well, I'll just check it through the map. It's easier than me hunting for it. Not terribly close, and nothing within range. In fact, there's no oil wells on the map at all anymore, apparently. I wonder if that just... Interesting. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're all gone. Apparently there are 0 on the map. I guess everything is now done offshore. I guess we could add in... Yeah, that would help a bit. And that would help a little bit as well. Alright, well then this boat's going to be very, very busy. That's okay. So what I will do is I will tell this not to do full loads after it goes there, which is... Well, get rid of that. That it can then come over to here. Come on, thank you. And back to Tillywell. And an optional maintenance. and then over to here, and back. Again, an optional maintenance. Let's set those to optional and optional. So similar to what I've done with other rigs, this boat now is going to just go and hit all three of these rigs. Instead of just sitting at one and waiting, it's just going to float back and forth, one to one to one to one. So at that point, I actually may want a second boat, just because these are such long ways. And I think this is one of the old tankers. The MPS. Yeah, this is one of the older ones, with speed of only 24, whereas the other one, oil, yeah, had a speed of 40. Okay. Alright, well what I'm going to do then is, I'm actually going to set, just for the sake of speed, I'm going to set these to be replacing immediately. And then I'm just going to clone this boat. So it's going to make another one of the old ones and then promptly upgrade it. Yes, that cost me a little bit of money, but it's way easier than rebuilding the route, because I can't just directly copy it so easily. So I'm just going to clone that boat, and you can see it's already immediately upgraded it to the new one. No, it hasn't. That's just what they look like. Okay, never mind. I clearly am having a very silly day today. That's 3. Okay, so be it. Alright, you're green to go. Oh, and this air taxi. With only 210 passengers, I know that's a downgrade because we have 300 on our current one. So I do not even need to go and check that, because I know I'm not going to be using them. Should probably have spaced this one out a little bit more. It'll have almost no capacity. Okay, well what we'll do then is we'll tell it to go for a service. That will just use some time to let this one get a little bit further ahead. It will also, as you can see, switch it to the CS. So it's now faster. So I'm going to let this one actually go most of the way, and then I'm going to turn it around just to space these ones out a bit. It's not efficient, but it's just simple. And again, we'll say, okay, never mind, just go for maintenance. That's given this other boat plenty of time to get well ahead. So I just need more of a gap between them so they're not running the second boat having almost nothing to pick up because the first boat had just left. So that's the only point to that. Well, not that it really matters anyway, this first trip's just to activate these anyway, so it's not even going to pick up anything, but think of it more as a future expansion type. Yep, almost there. One thing I will say, I do like the ship docks simply because they're open at both ends, so ships coming in can come in from either side, whereas, say for example, a truck or rail one, they have to come in, on whichever one direction it comes in at. Whereas this way at least gives them a little bit, which is helpful because the boats, especially the early ones, are so slow. The last thing you'd want to do is when it gets here to also have to come all the way around and turn. But anyway, so this is now a shiny new CS. Most importantly, better top speed and more capacity. So overall, far, far better. Put the speed up a bit. So this boat now, the second one, is officially doing the activate runs, and this boat's still coming back to finish this first bit of the new one, so there should actually be stuff waiting for it. Yes, there is. Excellent. Then we'll start seeing this oil mission start making some serious progress. But even nearly twice as fast as the old boats, these are still pretty slow. That's why I don't really like them. It'd be really nice if there was, you know, a little helicopter or small plane that actually could support carrying oil, even small amounts. I would much rather just have, you know, 10 or 15 helicopters doing this than the one boat, but no can do apparently. Oh well. There we go. Glorious, glorious oil. Decent amount of it. About a third of a tank or so. And meanwhile, this one should be... Yep, almost there to activate this one. So again, it's not going to actually have anything to bring, but at least it'll get the thing activated for us. And that would be a good thing. Excuse me. Now, I can't really do much about a shuttle bus because that's a necessary feature. So I have to just not worry about how it's not making much money. It's kind of surprising that it isn't, but there's really nothing much we can do about it. Because if we don't have a shuttle there, then that airport's never going to actually do anything. Which would be very unfortunate. Yes, this station, or excuse me, this rig out here, yep, is now active. Excellent. Apparently has a lot of passenger traffic. Seems very high to me. Yeah, that seems more normal. I guess people really, really want to get on and off of that particular oil rig for some reason. Who knows? Mine is not to reason why. Anyway, put the speed back up here for a little bit. And yeah, that was an activating run, so that this will come in and there's nothing to drop off. And meanwhile, the original one we had had plenty of time to stock up. So this will work out well. Much better than just having that boat having sat there here for that entire time that we've played since I updated this. Because it would just now be getting ready to leave with 220,000 or so, which is what the old tankers could support. Whereas now it's going to be leaving, well, 206, close enough. But in the meantime, we've also had this other one drop off a bit. So we're already up a little bit, and the flow would be faster day in, day out. So that can only be a good thing. Let's speed up a little bit more here. Okay. And we're making progress. Can't remember if there's another newer boat that comes in later or not, or if these are the last ones, because I can't remember all the years where new vehicles come in. When I'm playing on my own, I tend to start a little bit later. Instead of starting at 1950, I tend to start in the 1980s or 90s. But for this series, I felt like starting at 1950, because that is the default the game uses. You just fire it up and install it for the first time, so I thought, why not start there? It lets us use some of the earlier steam engines and that. They're terrible, but they're fun. I wonder if it wouldn't be a terrible idea to clone one more boat to do this. Maybe not. Because this is the only one that has a lot, and it's the one that is going to be picked up by this boat here shortly, so yeah, I guess two's enough. I don't think one would have been enough, but three is definitely going to be too many, so I think we're okay with two. May not be the absolute peak efficiency, but I think it'll be plenty good enough for what we're doing. Excuse me. Oh. This city has grown enough that there's a house within catchment range. So, yes, it will do passengers, just not very many. It's only probably these houses here at most. But still, that's good that this has grown enough. Eventually, if the city does grow a lot more this way, I can get rid of the shuttle and just have them going on their own. But for now, they'll be separated. Alright, we'll bring us in a good 200,000. Yeah, and boats can just really go wherever they want. They can go right through each other. They don't even slow down. They could not care less. Which is, well, completely unrealistic, but certainly better than waiting for slow boats to sail around each other and what have you. Anyway, we'll drop off that. That will put a good little blip here for us. That will be good. About 3%, so... Okay, so I don't think we're going to be finishing any other missions in this episode. Unfortunate. The other one I think even would have a chance would be this one or this one. But they're still a fair bit further back, so I'll try and fast forward a fair bit of this. Just so we're a little bit closer, even if we don't end up finishing one into this episode. If we can at least get into striking range for next episode, that'll work just as well. Okay. It might be this one even. Now that we have the 2 trains servicing it, even though it wants a lot, we're going to be hauling in a lot, so it might be this one that finishes next. It's hard to say. They all go at such varying rates, so it's never clear. This guy should be full as well, or, yeah, perfect. Excellent. So we're definitely chipping away at that, which is good. Slow, but good. But at this point, you know, any progress is good progress, so we'll take it. Yeah, we're definitely not going to get another one done for this episode. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. Can't be helped. It's given us quite a few of the larger range missions to do, so it wants a lot of cargo, which means they're very slow to get going. I mean, I could probably squeeze, if I really want to, I could probably find, you know, yet another iron mine and, you know, tie it in as well, but, I mean, these are definitely going. So, They're going slowly, but they are definitely going. So we can't be too upset with that. So yeah, we're not going to finish one of these this episode. I'm just trying to get these up into one of them up into the 90% range so that we can finish it off as part of the beginning of next episode. That's my goal for this episode. And I'm quite sure it's going to be this iron run here because it's by far the closest. It's amazing though with how large my network of vehicles is. We're at a point now where between the income from all the different vehicles arriving and all the varying different costs, there is literally 0 seconds in between, where the money doesn't change. Like it's just a constant buzzing up and down and up and down and up and down, and clearly overall up, but up and down and up and down and up and down so fast. I probably have a team of dozens of accountants just for that. Speaking of, what I could go and do is see if... Oh, see, that has upgraded. That's a much nicer building than it used to be. That is good. That must mean that I have gained a level here. Yep, I'm up to a full-on chairman. Isn't that delightful? Excellent. Again, maybe at some point I'll actually connect that island so my staff can actually leave my island at some point, and they don't just call me an evil dictator or something, but we shall see. Okay, so that's into the 90s there. So I think that will be a pretty good stopping point for this episode. Like I say, at this point I'm going to call that for now, and next episode we'll be able to finish that off, because like I say, it's into the 90s now, so it's not got far to go at all. So until next time, stay calm, and I hope you'll come and chill with me again in the next video. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye now.